the girl of the burned photos. Luciana Prado was a quiet girl, the kind who went unnoticed in a world of busy adults. She lived in a working-class neighborhood in Buenos Aires, in a house with peeling walls where the smell of damp never left. At 11, she had long black hair, and eyes so large they seemed to see through things. Her most prized possession was a Polaroid camera she had found in her grandmother's basement, an old device with a scratched lens and a flash that sputtered like it was about to die. Luciana spent her days exploring the neighborhood with her camera, snapping pictures of everything. The stray dog sleeping outside the bakery, the graffiti on the walls, the kids playing soccer in the street. At first, her photos were normal, but they always carried a melancholic air, as if capturing something no one else could see. But one afternoon, while photographing an empty alley, the Polaroid spat out an image that made her step back. In the photo, beside a pile of trash stood a figure, a tall, thin silhouette with arms hanging to the ground and eyes glowing like embers. Luciana looked at the alley again, but there was nothing there. That night as she slept, she heard a noise under her bed, like something scratching the wood, trembling. She got up and found the photo on the floor, though she was sure she had tucked it away in a box. Now, the figure seemed closer, its eyes larger. The next day, Mr. Boaps, the bakery owner, next to the alley, was found dead. His body lay on the shop floor, hands charred, eyes wide, as if he'd seen something that scared him to death. Luciana tried to throw the camera away, but she couldn't. Something in her urged her to keep taking photos, and each time she did, the images showed things that weren't there. She photographed her neighbor, a boy who always smiled at her, and the image revealed a figure behind him, with long fingers seeming to touch his shoulder. That night, the boy died in a bike accident, his body found, with burn marks no one could explain. Then it was the school teacher who posed for a photo in the courtyard. The Polaroid showed a shadow with too many eyes above her head, and the next day she collapsed in class, her skin covered in black marks that looked like burns. The neighborhood started talking. Parents forbade their kids from going near Luciana, and adults looked at her with fear. But Luciana couldn't. Stop. The camera seemed to whisper to her, a voice like the crackle of burning paper, telling her to take more photos that it needed to see. One night, she photographed her own mother while she slept. When the image emerged, it showed something sitting at the foot of the bed, a figure with a face that was just an open mouth. Luciana screamed, and her mother woke, just in time to see the photo catch fire on its own. I tried to help her. Ned Louis, the neighbor, had hardware stored on her, and I had always felt sorry for Luciana. I went to her house with a hammer, determined to destroy that camera. But when I arrived, I found her in the backyard, surrounded by burned photos, her hands trembling as she took another picture. The Polaroid spat out a photo of me, and in it, behind my shoulder, was something I can't describe, a body made of ash, with eyes like bottomless pits. Luciana looked at me, tears streaming down her cheeks, and whispered, "I'm sorry." I ran, but that night I felt a heat on my back, like something was burning me from within. I survived, but my skin still bears the marks. Luciana disappeared that same night. Her house was empty, save for a pile of burned photos scattered on the floor. In each one there were twisted figures, and at the center of them all a girl with a camera smiling. Sometimes, lying in the neighborhood, someone finds a Polaroid on the street, and those who look at it don't live to tell the tale. Luciana is still here, and her camera keeps looking. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Turn on notifications and tell us what you thought of the video. And as always, be careful of what's around you.